Well, you saw it here first. Global First, Vivi LD and costume is arriving tomorrow for the City of Final Fantasy Operaomnia. This was completely 1000% unexpected to see that we would actually get an LD first in the global version of Operaomnia. I was pleasantly surprised. If you saw my reaction video, you can pretty much tell that I was not expecting this at all. Now, one thing to note is that Joshua said that they will not be releasing any more Global First characters in the near future, but he did hint that we will be getting another Global First LD user for our anniversary. So in the comment section below, think about what you think might be the next Global First LD user to be coming to Global Default first before JP. So in this video, I wanted to go a little bit in depth with Vivi because Vivi is not out yet, but I do plan on making videos showcasing Vivi outside of Synergy to kind of give players an idea as to whether or not he is actually worth people's gems and tickets, because as everybody knows, Lufenia is about to start this coming week as I'm doing this video, and of course we do have some good characters that are also coming for the month of November. So let's talk about Vivi. Let's talk about his LD and his epic, beautiful costume that I did not know, because I have never played Final Fantasy IX myself. I should one day, because from what I hear, Final Fantasy IX is a great Final Fantasy. The story is great. So hopefully one day I'll be able to catch that. But I am actually going to continue my playthrough of Final Fantasy 15 because I've already beaten another story game, whatever you want to call it, just recently. So I need to continue 15 because of course Final Fantasy 16 was announced. But that's not what we're here to talk about. Let's talk about Vivi's LD real quick. So Vivi's LD abilities is called Doomsday. It has 3 uses. It consumes 30% of each party member's current HP. Now that line right there is what kind of concerned me, because I was worried that, one, yeah, these attacks might be powerful, his LD might be powerful and whatnot, because this LD also has a follow-up attack, which we will talk about here in a bit. But I was worried that we would have to work around Vivi to make sure that we don't get destroyed in case the enemy decides to one-shot us with whatever attack. Because now that we are going into Lufenia era, we have to think about that a lot of these Lufenia fights, they are very HP happy, and they have no problem with all of a sudden gaining Brave out of nowhere and hitting you and one-shotting you, and then you're gonna have to repeat the whole fight if you do decide to bring Vivi to said Lufenia fight. 4-hit group Fire and Dark Magic Brave attack with 120% overflow that ignores defense. That is great. And it is also a group HP attack, total damage to each enemy. So it is a full AoE HP damage attack done twice. It inflicts an 8-turn resist down on all enemies after the first HP attack, and then it grants Vivi 5 stacks of a special effect called Memories of the Soul. Now, the special effect of Memories of the Soul, it starts the quest at 0 stacks but a maximum of 5. It raises Vivi's attack by 40%. It gives him a fire enchant effect, which I believe might be a party enchant effect. I guess we'll find out when Vivi gets released tomorrow, but as of right now, I will say, just for the sake of this video, that it gives him the fire enchant just to be on the safe side, but it could potentially be a party wide enchant effect. It prevents fatal HP attack when at least 50% max HP. So what that means is basically Vivi has that same effect that, like, say Snow has whenever somebody attacks him and it's a big amount of brave that Snow is about to take. When Vivi gets attacked by it, he will survive with 1 HP attack. So he has last stand, which is great because of what Vivi's ability does. When attacking an enemy's weakness, the Stolen Brave Overflow increases by 20%. When there is at least 1 stack after your own turn, it triggers the Embers of Darkness. Now, the Embers of Darkness is a follow-up attack after you do anything with Vivi. His C65, his HP attack, his skill 1, his skill 2. The Embers of Darkness follow-up attack triggers, and with that, of course, the Memories of the Soul stacks will start going down every time that you use Vivi or anything on Vivi. It consumes 1 stack of Memories of the Soul. It consumes 15% of each party member's current HP, which again is why I'm a little bit worried about Vivi when it comes to Lufenia fights. Increases Brave by 70% of attack. It is a 4-hit group Fire, Dark, Magic Brave attack that also ignores defense, plus a group HP attack, and the damage done by the follow-up attack, it is a full AoE attack, which is fantastic, especially going into Lufenia. That is something that we definitely need. Increases Brave by 20% of HP damage dealt, and there was no knockback on it. So, and then real quick, if you do limit break his LD to limit break 1, Doomsday Brave damage goes up by 10% with attack and max brave plus 10% on Vivi. Limit break 2 on the LD has that fire resist down on the enemies, and it goes from 4 turns all the way to 8 turns. And then the attack and max brave goes up by 10%. And then once you max it out, the LD usage goes from 2 to 3 with the attack and max brave going up 10%. So overall, it is a very strong LD weapon, but of course I want to know how strong it truly is outside of Synergy, because as seen in the video, it did mention that they weren't in Synergy, so of course it's going to do like the crazy maximum amount of damage that'll get people to be like, oh my god, look at that, look at all that damage, look at them numbers. It's insane. But Vivi's LD in general, it is a strong LD skill, and like I can't wait to test on Vivi like outside of Synergy, because it sounds like a very good LD. And then of course being able to get that follow-up attack with any other skill outside of his LD is actually very, very good, because as some of y'all may or may not know, JP right now is basically in the follow-up meta, where almost every single character that we've gotten so far has gotten some sort of follow-up attacks. Not all of them, but like a lot of them as of late have been getting the follow-up attack. So having this already right now in the beginning of the Lufenia era for global can give an edge to global players who may or may not struggle with the upcoming Lufenia fights, which would be Shinryu, I assume, or I believe it's going to be at the end of this week. And then of course our first Lufenia Lost Chapter, which will be 8 Lost Chapters. So again, the LD, it's a very strong LD. Now, here's where I'm worried, because the part that worries me, which I mentioned earlier, was the fact that it consumes party's current HP. So I'm gonna assume that it'll go all the way down to 1, but based on the video, I noticed that using the LD takes up the more HP, because it does 30%, or consumes 30% of each of the party members' HP. And then with the follow-up attack, it does 15% of each of the party members. So when I saw that video and I rewatched it over and over after I ended my stream watch of the community stream that we just had, I noticed that with the follow-up attacks, it seems like it doesn't consume a lot of HP compared to when you actually use the LD ability. So in between the uses of the LD ability, since we have 3 uses, by that time you should have the right characters or the right team comms to be able to recover all of that HP, so you won't have to worry about getting one-shotted. Now, I went onto DB, which of course shout out to them for their awesome, amazing work. And I went to look at the current roster that we had with global, with the characters that are in global right now. And I kind of took a little bit of notes. I really thought as much as I could, and I probably missed a few when it comes to some strong healers to pair up with Vivi, so that way you or any of your other party members won't get one-shotted out of nowhere. When it comes to having a good healer, so one of the few healers that I noticed was Penelo with her skill 2, I believe, which is a regen waltz. Yes, it does restore a certain amount of HP to the party, so it has a 3 turns HP regen, which is a good thing. Another good healer that you could bring alongside with Vivi would be Aiko. Aiko, I know, has not been used too often, because I know Aiko has fallen off a little bit, but this is just kind of like an example of some healers that you could use. Aiko has party regen as well, but hers lasts for 6 turns and it restores HP per turn, pretty much. So I mean, it's like the same thing as Penelo, except that hers is a 6 turn instead of Penelo being a 3 turn. Another healer that you could use is Aerith. Now, Aerith doesn't have HP regen, but if you get into that tight situation where you need to recover HP for any of your party members or your entire party, you can use Healing Wind, and more than 90% of the time you are fully healing your characters, which, you know, like I said, in tight situations it can help you out. So Aerith is another unit, character, whatever you want to call it, that can be used as your healer for the party. Another one would be Lena. Lena does have her party heal as well with her Wind Drake arrow, and I believe her Brave Phoenix also recovers a little bit of HP. I may be wrong on that. It's been a minute since I've used Lena, but I may have to do some testing, which I will be doing, like some showcases, some shenanigans to kind of see which will be like the best healer where global is at right now. And then afterwards, you also do have Iggy or Ignis, whoever you want to call him. He is another character that you could use as well. His kit could be complicated to some people, but it's not that bad. But he does restore the party's HP as well with his skill 1, and I think his quick recipe might do the same. I think, I'm not too sure, but for sure his skill 1 heals the party. The only thing about him though is that his skill 1 only has 3 uses, so that kind of hurts him a little bit. A few others that I wanted to mention as well. Alphanaut, he does heal the party as well. Paladin Cecil with his skill 2, I believe, also heals as well. Shalada does bring a little bit of healing. Alphmau also does bring some healing as well. And then of course there's a few others like General Leo. General Leo increases the party's HP, so you know, that's a little bit less worry about where the level of your HP is at for whatever team com you use with Vivi in it. Another thing another character that you can use as well alongside with Vivi would be Arden. Arden has that, I guess immunity, if you want to call it, with his LD, so that he won't get killed. Because since his, after you use his LD, his HP goes down to 0, and he is immortal. That's the word I was looking for. He is immortal to attacks. So hopefully, if you're lucky, or depending on the type of fight that you are doing, Arden can take the hits while Vivi can just go all in with his attacks. Another character to bring into a fight alongside with Vivi would be Edward. Edward with his LD ability to make it so that he can put the enemies to sleep, so that way you won't have to worry about them attacking. Now, one thing that I did want to bring up is characters to look out for in the future if you are a big fan of Vivi, or you are going to be using Vivi a whole lot. Gao is getting his LD in the next few weeks, in the month of November. Now, Gao, again, I don't know why people are so hard on Gao. I enjoy Gao. Gao is fun to use here and there. I know I don't use him all the time, but like I think Gao is a very good character. The thing about Gao is that he has follow-up attacks whenever an enemy attacks anybody in your party. And the thing is though, with his follow-up attacks, he will either, depending on which skills that you use on him, he can actually he can heal your party with one of those follow-up attacks. So once Vivi attacks, and then Gao follows up with an attack as well, Vivi can attack, Gao can attack afterwards, and he can heal the party with the right skill set, the right what's the word that I'm looking for? If you have Gao used correctly, and he follows up with that follow-up attack after Vivi attacks, he can heal your party after using a certain skill. I don't think it's from his LD. I believe it's from his skill 1 that'll help you to heal your entire party, so that way you don't have to worry about getting like one-shotted. Another character to look out for is going to be Rude, and let me switch over to the Japan character list. Rude is another character that you can look for. Rude is going to be a character that I'm going to be pulling for, and I will be doing a showcase whenever he comes to Global DFFOO in December. Rude, with his LD and his skill 2, I believe, restores the party's HP, which is great. Rude is an extremely good support character, just FYI. We'll talk about him more towards the end of next month. But Rude is another one. And then finally, Gladio. Gladio, you know, he will cover against any attacks, which again, I will be doing like a showcase and a little bit of an in-depth on Gladio, because he can protect Vivi, unless it's an AoE attack, he can protect Vivi from potential dangers from the enemies. So, but again, we will talk about him later on what he does in depth. So yeah, Vivi, like, again, I was not expecting Vivi's LD to be coming to global as a global first. This is very exciting. What I want to know from your guys' perspective is how do you feel about Vivi now, knowing his kit, what he does? Are you excited for Vivi? Are you going to be pulling for Vivi? Do you think Vivi is worth it? Do you think you're going to hold off until you see like some videos or what people think Vivi brings to the table to Global DFFOO? Let me know in the comment section below. Also, if there's any like little bits of information that I may have missed, like say like other healers, let me know in the comment section below as well. And again, when Vivi comes out, I will be pulling for his LD because I already have his EX. So I will be pulling for his LD. I will be doing showcase. I will try to make up some good team comps so it can help anybody who is struggling to use Vivi in case they're getting one-shotted or something's going on. I will come out with a few videos around Vivi to help out anybody that is struggling with using him or bringing him into any team comps that you bring in. So that's going to be it for the video, guys. Sorry that it was a little long. I just noticed that it's almost 20 minutes. So I apologize for that. But other than that though, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Hopefully some of this information was helpful to y'all. Like, subscribe, you know, if you enjoyed it. And yeah, if you are pulling for Vivi tomorrow night, good luck. And I hope that you are able to snag his kit. Take care, guys. Have a good rest of your day or night. And I'll catch you guys next time.